It's where you go to bike, hike, and stroll miles of pathways over more than 7,000 acres of parkland. A place to go explore rivers and fish their bountiful waters. Natural places to go marvel at magnificent wildlife while you play outdoors and go wander charming communities. Find all this and more at Destination Downriver. Give it a go.
Today's podcast is presented by marketinsights.us, with the podcast on YouTube produced by the City of Taylor's Media Center. Thank you for the generous support of our community sponsor. When your destination is beyond downriver, let Martinson Family of Funeral Homes help you and your family. With locations in Trenton, Allen Park, Mabee, Rockwood, and Monroe, their staff is available 24/7 at 734-671-5400. For more information, visit martinson.com.
Thank you to our team sponsor, Allegra, Marketing, Print, and Design. Let Allegra assist you with your print, mail, design, and signs. Located in Wyandotte, Michigan, or call 734-284-5330.
Welcome to another episode of Destination Downriver. I'm your host, Karl Ziomek. Today, we're going to focus on the city of Trenton. The area that is now known as Trenton is among Michigan's oldest communities. Trenton has blossomed into a charming riverfront community with enough hiking, biking, and water trails to qualify as one of only a handful of Michigan Trail Town designees. The city's downtown has evolved in dramatic fashion as well. Unique shops, excellent dining options. It's now the site of several of Wayne County's most dynamic annual events, from world-class jazz and art festivals to vintage and farmers markets. If you need more convincing on why to come to Trenton, our four guests today will help persuade you. We'll be back with them after a brief time out. Last summer's first ever Trenton Art Festival was an explosive experience. It transformed the city's streets into giant canvases that allowed people not only to see all sorts of original artworks for sale, but also witness huge murals being created throughout the city. It was such a success that it's coming back this year. Here to talk about it is the artistic engineer behind the event, our friend here, muralist Michelle Tanguay. How are you today, Michelle?
Good, how are you?
We're
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're at the Framery here.
Yes.
One of your friends let us in early. She'll be on next. What are the dates of this year's art fair?
This year's art festival is September 19th and 20th.
Are many new murals in the works?
We have 4 new murals coming to downtown Trenton. So altogether, there will be 12 murals in the city of Trenton.
Wow, that's kind of fantastic.
We're very excited about it.
How long does it take you to do a typical mural on the side of a building?
These artists that we work with are very experienced. They work very fast, so they finish it in about 10 days.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
My goodness. And it really changes the whole scope of a downriver area if you get enough of those, doesn't it?
It really does. This city has been completely transformed by murals. And what happens is you get a few, people get really excited about it, and then every business wants one. So, we are looking forward to expanding and to keep it going.
Can you tell us about any of the artists that are going to be down here doing this?
So the artists have not been announced yet,
Okay.
But the exciting thing is that last year we went with all local artists.
Okay.
This year we are working with a lot of international artists, so we're flying in a lot of people, and yeah, it's very exciting. We're excited about it.
Why is this festival special? I mean, when you think of it, what jumps out at you?
Well, there aren't any mural festivals downriver. So this is the first of its kind in this area. And we also activate the businesses. So if you're getting a mural, you're participating in the festival, and we activate your business by either hanging up artwork or bringing in an artist to pop up outside or inside and paint during the festival.
And I take it that's kind of the feel that visitors are going to get to the festival too. They're going to see some things that they've kind of never experienced before.
Yeah, you don't often get the opportunity to see an artist, especially an international artist, paint a huge painting on the side of a building. So, and then along with the painting, we have an art fair, we have a sip and stroll, and then we're going to have children's activities, all art themed activities. So it really brings the whole community together to celebrate.
Did you see heavy participation in those type of things last year?
Yeah, and then what happens is the first year people are kind of like, what is this? What's going on? So and then it grows every single year. You know, we see that with street fairs. It's kind of along the same lines.
Are there, based on what you saw last year, okay, when it comes to these type of cooperative events, anything new that you can lay on us? Or is it going to be kind of what you saw last year? But
it's going to be along the same lines, just bigger artists and just more activities. Really, what happened was when we had a call for art for this, and we thought, honestly, I thought that we would get probably 30 artists to apply. We ended up getting 998 artists from all over the world applied to paint murals in Trenton.
My goodness.
Yes, it was really incredible, the response. So not only has it created a little stir in the Downriver community, but it's also created a lot of attention in the art community. So artists from all over the world now know what's happening in the city of Trenton.
Oh my goodness, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
What about cooperation between like local restaurants, eateries, retailers? How important is that to an event like this?
It's important because it ties the whole community together. And that's what happens with these murals. We really put an emphasis on the artwork having a theme and curated for the community. So all the artwork has themes that relate to the history, the present of what is here, or the future of that city. And because of that, a lot of people are involved. So we have the DDA members, we have a creative board that votes on the muralists. So the muralists have just been chosen last week, and already there's probably 100 people that have their hands in it, all from the community. And also the business owners, and we will also have the restaurants and the businesses involved in the sip and stroll, so you can taste their cocktails, because really that's what this whole festival is about, is just highlighting businesses and the people of Trenton.
Was Trenton the right place to pick?
Oh, 100%. I'm so thankful. The DDA has been absolutely wonderful. The businesses just are excited to see all of these murals go up and to get murals in their businesses. And, you know, we're here at the Framery. And Shelby, a few months ago, she said, this is the busiest I've ever been. And she was like, I think that this is because the murals on the building.
Now, when you surveyed the crowd last year, did you see a lot of people who were outside of Trenton, outside of the Downriver area, or is that coming?
I hope it's coming. You know, murals are new to Downriver. This is a new thing. It started on Groseal, and I worked with the Groseal DDA and got murals there. And now Trenton, and then, you know, I'm working with Allen Park as well. So it's slowly starting to spread. But there is this feeling and idea that murals are still graffiti, and you know, I'm used to working with the bigger cities. Like we worked in Detroit, and I painted in Miami and Hawaii, and so I was like, when I came here, I was kind of shocked that there was still this like old school mentality. But but Downriver is really cut off from everywhere else, and they're just like a few years behind the trends and what's happening. But that's why I love it. It's because it's such a wholesome, sweet community, and they are open to it, but it just happens a little bit slower.
Wow. Now, do you have a battle plan? You say that you want to expand to Allen Park. There are, 17 communities downriver if you stretch it enough. What else are you looking at?
I'm looking anywhere downriver. I say I want to stay within 45 minutes of my home. You know, but I just love the downriver communities. They're just good people. And there's this downriver pride here that I think can be highlighted with the art. If we set up murals in every downriver community that highlights that city, I think there's it creates a brand and an identity for downriver as a whole. It's like we really focus on the riverfront, the nature, the parks. There's such a rich nautical history here that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. There's also a really, really rich Native American history here, and that is one thing that we haven't touched on yet in the murals that I hope to touch on in some other cities, hopefully. And I'm just excited to be here and excited for all of this happening.
Well, remind us of those dates again.
September 19th and 20th.
Okay, and if they are looking for further information, website,
Yes,
links?
I would suggest our website, TrentonArtFestival.com.
Okay.
You can find us on Instagram, Trenton Art Festival, and then you can also follow the Trenton DDA's Facebook page.
All right, well, it sounds like a plan, and I think you'll see more and more people cropping up from greater distances. It's not that hard to get down to Trenton.
We're excited about it.
All you got to do is jump on 75 and come south, right?
Yep.
All right, well, we look forward to it. Can't wait for it.
Thank you so much.
Like many businesses throughout the downriver area, the Framery and Gallery is family-owned and a cornerstone of creativity in a town that's been flexing its artistic muscle for nearly 50 years. Shelby Margitan now runs the shop that her grandfather founded. Yet another legacy business, this is built upon a love for art and photography. Shelby and her skilled staff help preserve family memories and brighten residential and commercial spaces all over southeast Michigan. Here to show us a bit more about this wonderful shop in its Trenton home is the one and only Shelby Margitan. We are right here at the Framery and Gallery in Trenton with one of my favorite people, Shelby Margitan, who is the newest member of the family to take over this beautiful place. Shelby, you having a good day?
Yes, thank you.
Great,
Thanks
great.
for having me.
Fantastic to have you on. Tell us about the business. Why has it been so successful for over 50 years and all with one family?
Yeah, well, it was my grandfather's for 47 years. And yeah, I think we've been successful because we take, great pride in our work, and everything's done in-house, which not many people can say that. Yeah, and we just really love what we do, and we have wonderful customers, and we're very grateful.
Tell us, you told me off camera at one point, you were kind of the hellion of the family.
Yes.
Tell us that story.
Yeah, at one point, my grandfather paid for daycare next door to get me out of the store. But times have changed, and he's very grateful that it's in my hands now. So. And
you're very happy.
Yes.
Does he come around much anymore?
He does, yeah.
Okay.
So he's in Florida most of the time, and then he comes to visit. And if he feels like working, he helps us out, which is really great.
Ever think of going somewhere other than Trenton, whether it was you or him, or has this always been, this is where we're going to stay?
Yeah, it's always been Trenton. It's a special community here. There's a lot of small businesses down here. There's, everyone knows everyone, which is really great, and we're thankful to be in Trenton.
You're now a member of the DDA.
Yes.
Excited about that? Is this the first time you've ventured into that type of arena?
Yeah, this is the first time. I haven't done my first meeting yet, so that's, I think, next month. But yeah, I'm really excited to be a part of it and, hear others' opinions and voice mine, and yeah.
Anything you really want to see done? Many times when people go into those positions, they have something on their agenda that they want to see accomplished, and you've been around here for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to, see more events downtown, inspire more shoppers to eat, to drink, to venture out. I'm really looking forward to the art festival again, and I hope we can continue that. So.
As a local business owner, what is your long-range view? There's a lot happening both downriver and in Trenton. A lot of opportunity in Trenton. How do you look at that?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting. I'm happy to be a part of it, and kind of like I said before, I just hope that we can inspire the community to continue to shop small. And yeah.
That's always it's always been a tough sell. Shop small, especially the way shopping trends have gone. They've gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. Now it's all about Amazon and things like that. What do you tell people when your campaign is focused on why not shop with small business people?
Yeah, I mean, we're part of your community, right? You know, the children go to school with each other. We, we're neighbors. It's, we're the ones that donate to the local causes, and yeah, I mean, it's hard being a small business owner, but I'm really grateful to be one.
When we look around here, inside here, and it is really kind of cool, tell us about the artists and the artwork that make this come together like it does.
I mean, there's so many talented, creative people in the Downriver area. I'm lucky to house a couple artists. We have Nicole Camilleri. She does a lot of acrylic oil paintings. Paul Frost, he actually does wood turn bowls, and pretty much all of the bowls I have here are trees from Trenton.
Which is unique.
Yeah, which is really great. Dawn Taylor, who also does acrylic paintings, and Alexa DeLue. I have a couple of her pieces on display, and she's actually on the side of our building, one of the larger murals.
That's really cool. That's cool. So one of the objects of doing these Destination Downrivers is to tell the Downriver story further and further out. We want people from East Point, we want people from Macomb County to come downriver to do business down here, to visit down here. In your mind, why Trenton? Why should they come to Trenton?
Yeah, there's so much to do. You can take a walk in the park. There's grab a nice cup of coffee, get some ice cream, dinner with the family. We've got, a lot of really great stores down here. You can come to the art gallery. Go shopping. Yeah.
If you were coming here, is there a time of year or a event that you would want to be here for and then kind of explore the city?
Yeah, I mean, probably personally the art festival.
Okay. All right.
So that's in September. Yeah, there's a lot of buzz downtown. You can see the artists actually in real time painting the murals. Last year we had several people outside painting, and it's a lot of fun to be around.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, we wish you a lot more years
of
fantastic luck, and thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty. Sibley Gardens has been serving great meals at 916 West Jefferson in Trenton for nearly a century. This iconic eatery, located near Sibley Road, just outside of downtown Trenton, opened its doors in 1935. The Puinti family took over in 1961. What was once an industrial stretch of Trenton, the view around the restaurant has seen dramatic changes. Directly across the street from what used to be where McLouth Steel operated from 1948 through 1995, the industrial smokestacks have given way to an accessible Detroit River waterfront that's brimming with new and exciting possibilities. Sibley Gardens has thrived through all the ups and downs while securing a place as one of Southeast Michigan's finest dining experiences. Entering the restaurant, you'll immediately notice the Art Deco styling that harkens back to the 1940s. From the art on the walls to the deep red carpeting, wood paneling, curtain-shrouded booths, and formal dining spaces, it's been called old school Italian with a touch of glam. This is one of those spots where people like to sit and savor a true dining experience. The atmosphere and the service all help to underscore the excellent food and wines, all of which is why it's been around for generations. This is a destination dining experience that's been frequented by the famous and infamous for decades. Joining us now is owner Nick Puinti. Joining us now is the owner, operator, and all around famous guy from,
Oh, yeah. So
from
famous.
Sibley Gardens, Nick Puinti. And we've heard so much about Sibley Gardens. What are the reasons behind its long success? Your family's been involved since '61, right?
Yeah, I mean, it even goes back further than that. That's a different story. But yeah, since 1961, my dad, Sam, and my grandmother, Mary, took it over again. It's been in the family since then. My dad's 92 and still comes in. In fact, he's in the building now. He's a little camera shy, but we'll get him on a little bit later. I think the success is just consistency, knowing what works, listening to our guests, and the pride that our staff has working here. The servers, people that clean the restaurant, everything we do in-house, chefs, food, and I think it's just it's a family business, and then it's an extended family. People that work here end up staying a long time for the restaurant business, and we're really lucky in that regard.
Want to mention any of them specifically?
Oh gosh, you've got George Sarabian, who's a chef in the kitchen. He's been here for 20 years. His son Nick is a sous chef. Justin Chabot, one of our chefs in the kitchen, started here as a dishwasher, and now he's just turned 40, and everything he kind of learned through here or just on his own initiative. And servers, Missy, Lisa, been here a long time. Marissa Linville has been here quite a while. Usually if people leave, it's because they retire, or if they're here working, whether they're in college or something, they'll move on from there. But being a family business, my dad's 92. I mean, who else has a 92-year-old owner, still wants to be here?
Oh, yeah.
He wants to be here. It's not like he has to. And my nephew Jake's been here, started as a busboy, and now he's over 30 and working here, and plans on making this his, forever job too.
With the changing tastes, okay, why does Sibley endure like it does? It has to do a lot with the food, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we have my grandmother's recipes still, but we've also added things, and some things are different. For example, like our tomato sauce. Years ago, you could say tomato sauce, but there was always beef in it. We called it the squish. You get the beef, and you squeeze the juices into it, and we still have a beef tomato sauce, but the tomato sauce now is, because there's a lot of vegetarians, is meat-free. So little things like that. But there's trends, and we kind of try to follow that. Goat cheese Napoleon was something that wasn't my grandmother's recipe. She might not even say, what the heck is that? All that in one plate. But probably the old and the new. And like I said, our customers kind of let us know what they like. And there's some things that we would never ever take off the menu. Steak Sammy, even our Sibley burger, even though some people are shocked if it's not round. And it's like, well, that's what it is. Once you know, and if that's not your cup of tea, that's fine. You can order one of the other 50 things on the menu.
What's your go-to?
Because I've been here so long, I always kind of like to try the specials out, so I can give the chefs feedback in what I like and what I think the guests might like. But menu item go-to, probably chicken Roberto with a side of pasta and tomato sauce, and that's probably one of my go-tos. I should be cutting back on the pasta, but
Is there a specialty wine with that?
Our bolognese is great. I mean, like wine. There's so many great wines now. I mean, as my dad says, the winemakers are chemists now. They know how to blend everything. They know how to make it taste great. Where it's not always dependent on just one grape. That a lot of blended red wines, and But yeah, kind of like a decoy Cabernet. It's kind of a mid-price wine, and
it works.
Yeah, gotta watch the profits.
A lot of notable people, famous people, have come in here, especially because they target this place. Can you tell us about some of those people?
Well, yeah, it's funny. I remember Ellie Mae Clampett was here years ago. I mean, not famous. Donna Douglas, I think, was her name. But the whole staff got excited, when they're. Sly Stone was here once, but he wasn't in great shape. But I remember Sly and the Family Stone. More notably, or recently, Jim Nance, TV commentator for football. He's been here several times because of the Lions, and he thought the Lions were going to the Super Bowl. But he's a good friend of Jim Perry,
Yes,
who's a
absolutely.
great friend of ours, supporter of ours, customer. They went to school together in Houston, and Jim Nance it was fantastic. We had a couple of private dinners with him, and then he brought his staff down last November and December. It was December, and we fit him in. We had called a party that was here. I said, "Hey, do you mind if can I move you to another table?" And they were great. I'll buy you an appetizer, I'll buy you a round of drinks, but because I know my dad did not want to miss out on another night of Jim Nance's stories, and it was great. Just so many stories.
Oh yeah.
Such
Yeah.
a gentleman, such a great guy. You see why people like him, that career that he has. It's kind of the way he treats people. It's not just because he's got a great voice, for sports, but it's skill. But I think it's also the way he probably treats people.
Well, it's amazing because when you look at Jim Nance, voice of the masters, okay, and I've always felt that the real big-time go-to golf announcers always kind of transcend to the top of that particular profession, because you have to have a unique gift with a connection with the audience when you're calling golf, especially.
Yeah, because golfers, they love the sport. They know their sport. It's funny. We'll be watching golf at home, and I'll say a line, and then the announcer says the same exact thing I do, and my wife just looks at me, shakes her head. It's like, well, it's not just me. It's all golfers. There's certain, phrases that you would say. But also notably Dan Florick, who grew up downriver.
Yeah.
He comes in when he's in town. Almost every time he's in town, he'll make a stop, and he's fantastic as well. Always free to take photos with the staff, and he's fantastic.
He's a great actor. There's no
Great
doubt about
actor,
that.
a great guy.
You mentioned Sly and the Family Stone, and I date myself.
Yeah.
Because that was one of my all-time favorites. Their greatest hits album is just tremendous. Transcends time as far as I'm concerned. But you have a little bit of a musical background.
Yeah, I started playing guitar with some friends in elementary school, and we had a band called Dwarf, which at the time I wasn't crazy about the name because I was about 4'2". But our first gig was a 6th grade talent show, and we grew up together. In fact, the News Herald would have articles as we were growing and through the years, and then we ended up moving to California. The band, everyone came with their separate ways, and I came back and worked the restaurant business and started raising a family. But when I turned 40, I started getting interested in maybe I should get back into making some music. It's been a few years, and really after I turned 50, I've been most prolific and kind of got the most, if you want to call it success, but just get a lot of airplay in Sirius XM, Little Steven's Underground Garage with my band, which is Nick Puinti and the Complicated Men, and kind of funny name, but if you know the guys, you would understand the name. But we've done like pop rock, stuff, records, and then currently I'm working on a solo record. It's going to be a little bit of shift in direction, but still my songs and my songwriting. But it's been a fun, and that's something I could maybe bring to the restaurant a little easier. Bring in the whole band, we can do it, but it's a little, it doesn't really fit the venue so much. People eating their steak salmon, there's a rock band playing in the background.
What about the surrounding area here? You've seen a lot of changes, okay? What do you like, what do you dislike, and what do you expect?
Well, obviously, we lived with McLeod Steel being vacant for about 20 years across the street, and it was just really such an eyesore, and over a mile of waterfront. And finally, a couple years ago, it was torn down, and so now it's like an empty canvas. What's going to come next? I've heard some rumors, but I've heard a lot of rumors through the years. At one point there was this development. We even had drawings up there so people can kind of get excited. Hey, look what might be coming. It was a residential marina thing, but that can't happen with the contamination of the years in the industry on the soil. So it will be some type of either manufacturing or I've heard of something recently which I like the sound of it, but I'm not privileged to say what it is. But anything that could bring jobs help Trenton with their tax base and just some vitality. I mean, a great place for a golf course. There's enough room for it, but it doesn't really make sense financially. You have to have someone that kind of did it just for a vanity project.
Do you have a druthers on what you'd like to see there?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to have a golf course. I'd say I'll be back in 4 hours. I'll see you, and after But no, residential is a fantastic idea. It seems like part of the property they could maybe do something like that, but I think the risk, who would inherit the risk, be responsible if they're later found out there was some contamination, and so. But there's other waterfront area in Trenton that's available for sales that could be.
Oh yeah, quite
it's just south of it here, so people love the waterfront. So that would be great if they could do some kind of mixed use where they and the public could have access to the water's always great.
It's easy for you to look back, look forward. Where do you expect Sibley Gardens and even yourself to be 10 years? 20 years down the road? Where's this going?
Well, it's funny. A lot of people say you should move here, but I think part of Sibley Gardens is this unlikely location, with the railroad tracks here, and Trenton is a great community, a safe community. I have no worries for our guests coming here and never feeling uncomfortable. We got tons of parking for a restaurant this size, and I just kind of see, we've done it for 60 some years. I don't see why we can't do another 20, 30 years. I'll probably end up like my dad walking around here, and God willing, and I'll just have to know when, just kind of back off a little bit and like let them do it. I was talking to a owner of Dearborn brand, sausages, and great guy. He was in here and he kind of turned the business over to his kids, and he said one day he had to realize, he said, I've got some ideas, but they've got ideas too, and they can both be right. It's not just one way of doing things.
Sure.
So hopefully, I think for the success of this place, we have to have family involved. Right now, it's Jake, and who knows if others could be added down the road. But I hope it's here. So I don't see why it wouldn't be. It's tough. The restaurant business. You hear a lot of restaurants. I wouldn't like to do that. I really wouldn't, about airing on social media, hey, we could really use a hand. It's not our style. I just think, if we do our job, people will come here.
It's the way it usually is.
Yeah, but I think it's nice for someone to send a message, but I don't think everyone needs to send that same message because it kind of wakes people up and say, hey, yeah, there are some restaurants that could use our help, and any business could use your help,
Yeah, exactly.
Any locally owned business. Carl, thanks so much for talking to me, but I think more importantly, I got Coke Salmon, my dad. I know he looks like my brother, but he's 92. Broke his hip and his wrist on New Year's Day of 2024 and bounced back like, I can't believe it. He comes in about 4 days a week. He'd like to come in 7 days a week, but his wife has something to say about that.
She's got a lot to say about everything.
What was the key to recovery?
I don't know, just desire to get back, I guess, work and golf.
How do you hit them?
Not like I used to.
Well, he shoots under his age every time. He had a couple of 83, 84s last year.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
great.
Good for me. How about you? How's your game?
My game is absolutely terrible, so you should stay away from me. Even my wife stays away from me.
Have you ever heard a golfer answer that with "my game's great"? Never.
You're right about that. But believe me, my game is not great.
Just your son-in-law, Bob Bapp, he always says that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, really? Does he?
No,
I don't know.
Sam, people have been coming to this facility
Yes.
forever and ever.
Yep.
And so many people have been passing so many good restaurants to get here. What's the secret? What's the secret to success of a restaurant?
Food service, and atmosphere that the same people are here almost all the time. It's like almost a club type feeling. You know you're going to see so and so if you go to Sibley's.
Right.
That kind of thing.
And often they see you.
Not as often as they used to.
He has to pace himself.
One of the key things to this downriver, this destination downriver, that we're doing now is trying to lure people from other areas in the county, other areas in the region, to come downriver.
Yep.
If you were answering the question of, say, you were talking to somebody in East Point or someplace like that,
Right.
why should they come to Trenton?
Well, probably it's a great small town. Atmosphere's, not what it used to be, but it's just a good place to live.
I mean, he was born down the street
Yeah,
Okay.
in the house, right? Not even in a hospital.
yeah.
No kidding. In the house down the
Yeah,
street?
not even a mile down the road is.
The houses are gone now. They tore them all down.
But you probably remember them very well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's fantastic. Now, you live on Groseal still?
No,
No? Where
I
do you
live in Trenton.
Live in Trenton. Okay, alrighty. Well, that's
He likes
great.
that easy shot down King Road instead of having to deal with the bridge. So
Probably a smart thing.
when he was
Yeah.
working nights,
That's for sure.
Roseale's nice. People love,
Oh,
beautiful in the summer.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah,
There's
it
no
sure
doubt.
is.
Well, I want to say thank you to both
Thank
of you.
you.
Sam,
Yeah,
a pleasure
yeah.
and
You
honor
bet.
to see you.
Come on down
Nick,
river.
Always.
Come
We
see us.
always want to be downriver. We always want to be downriver. Put a ribbon around our trip through the city of Trenton. We now turn to Mayor Stephen Rzeppa. Steve, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Trenton is a trail town.
It is.
What is that?
Yeah, we were one of the first, I can't remember the number, first dozen or two in the state to receive that designation. So yes, we actually, our trails are connected now as part of the Iron Belt Trail around the entirety of the state. So, and while it's probably nothing that I will be, going on a pilgrimage on anytime soon, you can actually bike around the entire outskirt of the state of Michigan as part of this Iron Belt Trail, so they tell me. But I think it's something that's really, really cool. I know it's something that a lot of folks do, and it's, Michigan having the natural beauty that it does. I think the idea of it is absolutely incredible. But Trenton is now able to be connected through that from both the south and north ends. But really, we have an incredible network of trails for walking, biking that connect from our downtown, that connect through through other communities, but really even internally through our park system. Where every neighborhood in Trenton has the ability to walk to a park, and that's something that is we take pride in too, without crossing a major street. That is, and same with being able to connect through our trails like that. It's as we've seen with so many other ways too. I've mentioned Rotary Park already, and we're going to see actually have construction undergoing right now at Slocum Park and also in downtown Trenton. Where we're going to be adding pickleball courts, redoing basketball courts and playscapes, things like that, thanks to a generous grant from Wayne County to be able to make that happen. But it's one of those changes. You see people recreate and spend their time outdoors different than they did 20 years ago, than they did 40 years ago, 60 years ago. So no one would think that we'd have more pickleball courts than tennis courts and things like that. But people from teenagers to people older than my parents and things like that are playing in the same leagues, doing this and stuff like that too. So constantly doing what we can to adapt. Being a trail town, the designation is certainly part of that. Of whether it be people biking, running. Just walking their pets, things like that too. Making sure that anyone who wants to do anything has the opportunity to do so. And we continue to use that as a big draw for folks that live here and for folks that just want to spend time here too.
Pickleball is the prime mover and shaker these days. There's no doubt about it. We're about to exit this segment of Destination Downriver. Let me throw a few subjects at you and give me your brief impressions. You guys have a tremendous weekly farmers market that you host. What's your take?
Yeah, no, we are. That's something very exciting to be able to have something again that's just a weekly draw, providing that boost to showcase some of the folks that have businesses downtown, whether it be for some, like you've spoken to, family-owned businesses for 50 some years, or folks that have just come in the last couple of years too, that we've had some exciting things open. But just anything to give a weekly opportunity for people to get together outside, particularly when it's nicer weather, buy some unique things, meet some crafters, other people that they know in the area. But yeah, our farmers market's been a great draw for that, especially at our lot downtown that our DDA was able to also help fund revamping as well too, to help make things more accessible and easier to get through. But I think people notice that'll be a lot more aesthetically pleasing this year too. But yeah, it's something we're hoping to continue for a long time to come, because yeah, it's a very unique opportunity. I really, well, I'm biased, but I think ours is one of the better ones certainly. But yeah, a lot of regular events that we can keep drawing people down for, and the farmers market's one of them.
The cool thing about farmers market vis-a-vis a town like Trenton is it really does fit with your downtown.
Sure.
I mean, you look at that and you go, that's a perfect fit between those type of shops that you have and a farmer's market like that. What about Mr. Nick's? It was recently named Business of the Year. What's your take on Mr. Nick's?
It's what, again, we've got a great mix between the folks that have been here for a couple of years, and then Mr. Nick's, which is one of our it's a pinnacle Trenton establishment, right? It's a great place, very very well deserved for the Business of the Year award that they got there too. Wonderful owners, great staff too. They have a very wide array on their menu of food selections too, and I've never had anything bad too. So definitely would encourage. I'm sure most people that if anyone's watching this, they're at least familiar with it, have probably found themselves there at a certain point. But between some of the regular specials right now, especially during Lent too, during fish fries, great place to stop in for that too. So if you haven't been in there too, it's a timeless Trenton institution. Would encourage everyone to stop in.
And Truago is a centerpiece of the annual Lobster Fest event.
Absolutely. They've been, again, talk about quite literally being on the corner in terms of cornerstones there too. They've helped, between sponsorships and just involvement too on so many of our events downtown. Truago has been a great partner as part of that. They've so many different themes. The Lobster Fest is awesome. It's such a unique thing that not a lot of people, I think lobster when they think of Trenton, but because of Truago and the innovativeness on their part too, that's been a really, really exciting thing that I know people look forward to. They've done a really great job with that place. And I think that, we're looking forward to having them hopefully for a very long time to come. Great with the patios outside too, come summertime. And they've got live music often. But yes, especially during our festival is a great place to stop into.
Another one of those points of destination is the Rivertown Tavern.
Sure.
Another one with a lot of outdoor feel to it.
Yep. That's come summertime, and especially the summer festival too, right? They'll open up the garage doors on the side, have the big patio area for games and things like that, picnic tables, the good food menu, and then obviously Mamacita's right next door too, so it makes it easy just to walk by. But that's one that's been, I think, two summers now they've been open. And it's really been a great addition to our downtown. It's just something that adds a bit of liveliness. Again, having live music as well too is great for just to give people an opportunity to get together and have some of those good experiences really all year round. So yeah, we're excited to have them as part of it too, and can't obviously forget Custard Corner too on the corner between there. So it's a good combination between ice cream and beer right in the same location. So, yeah.
You mentioned a couple times, but something that makes this all come together real well during the summer is your annual summer festival.
Sure.
You guys have one of the best fireworks displays given the riverfront. Okay, it's beautiful down there. You also have, great social district that you've set up where
Sure.
visitors can come visit shops, drink throughout the festival and stuff like that. When is your festival coming up, and what can people look forward to?
Sure. So yeah, we last weekend in June every year. So it really is. I mean, just the kind of showcase of Trenton, right? It's between almost all the businesses that we've mentioned have been played key roles in that. All of our vendors are almost completely booked at this point already too. But yeah, for 50-some years at this point, it's been going on, and we'll have live bands at come nighttime and actually out throughout the afternoons on those days. It goes Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The fireworks display that weekend as well too, just ahead of the 4th of July. But really is, we get tens of thousands of visitors each day to that. Knock on wood, weather cooperating always, which is often a big hurdle that time of year, but. It's really an exciting event, an opportunity to support so many of those local small businesses, and even some of the vendors who've often been coming for decades too, that just get so used to it. It's a community staple that really everyone loves and cherishes, and that we're excited to keep doing and hopefully making bigger and better every single year. It's put on between our rec department and a just really dedicated team of volunteers that have a great vision and have done so much to keep things innovative and changing just enough to adapt to what people want and need. And we look forward to continuing to do that. We've got a social district as well, so the opportunity to grab a beer at one of those fine establishments and walk throughout the festival is always a nice extra touch too, while you might be looking for an elephant ear or a corn dog or something, or even anything from the restaurants that we all have that'll be open too. But really great time, and I'm sure that we'll see a lot of the folks listening to this there too. So,
okay, at the end of the day here, Mayor, why Trenton? What is so special about Trenton? And I can tell by the look on your face that it is special.
It is, and that's probably weirdly the easiest question I think that you've asked me, because it's the people. I feel like that sounds so cliche, but it's not. I grew up in Trenton, and it's just nothing short of an honor and a privilege to be able to be the mayor here now. And it is all because of the people, right? It's the most wonderful bunch that you could possibly ask for. And it's, for anyone that grows up there, so often too, people leave and they come back, but it's the same draw for everyone else too. I think that neither of my parents grew up in Trenton. My dad grew up in Wyandotte, my mom in Warren, but it was still a place that they aspired to move to when they got married and were able to do so. And so I was able to grow up there, and I think that we want to make sure that it is going to continue to be that same place that people always want to be downriver. We have so many of those. Outside of the people, so many of those great cornerstones, between the trails, the parks, the city services that we provide, the emergency services, the school district, and of course the people. It's really is a great place to live, and we're going to make sure it stays that way for a long time to come. So yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you, Steve. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to brag about Trenton. I appreciate it immensely.
Trenton really is a wonderful mix of culture and history. It is a wealth of different experiences for anyone looking for a great way to spend a day exploring. From charming riverfront neighborhoods to an eclectic downtown business district and water and bike trails everywhere, you'll have loads of options to create your own memories in this picturesque riverfront community.
Thank you again to our sponsors, Martinson Family of Funeral Homes and Allegra Marketing, with a special thanks to our production partners here at the new Taylor Media Center. Thanks for listening and watching. Please visit our website, destinationdownriver.com, or our Facebook page, and be sure to join us for next month's podcast.